Doki Doki Literature Club. If you clicked on this video, you probably enjoyed playing this game. Whether it was the cute girls, the unique story, or the psychological horror, something about this game pulled you in and hooked you. Sadly, DDLC hasn't had any official new content for quite some time. And even though there are always some amazing mods being produced by some dedicated fans, some of you are looking for another game to hook you, just like DDLC did. So here are 5 games I think you might enjoy if you enjoyed DDLC. We'll discuss each game's story, character, horror, and overall pull. While I won't spoil any major plot points, some minor spoilers are ahead. You, Me, and Her. Some consider this game the original DDLC, and I can see why after playing it. This game does have many similarities to DDLC, but it handles them very differently, and has many differences. The story of this game is extravagant, and what made it stick with me was the sense that something wasn't quite right during the entire first half of the game, and then when the twist came, well, I was floored. I was instantly hooked way beyond 100% and was itching to see how the game ended. This game does have multiple endings, and the crazy thing is, you have to replay the game multiple times just to see the true horror and get the true ending. Technically, this game has 2 versions that adds or subtracts from the story. The 2 versions are the Safe for Work, or the Steam version, and the original version, which is not safe for work. The not safe for work version has more content that helps explain and add to the story. Where you do get most of the same lines and content as the safe for work version, it hits a lot harder in the not safe for work version for various reasons. The story is impressive and, like I said, has multiple endings that hit you emotionally as a player and as the game's main character. The game has 5 characters, each bringing an essential aspect to the story. The 3 main characters are Aoi, Miyuki, and Shinichi, who you play as. The story revolves around them and their relationship, and you get to see these characters grow and develop together, and their relationship, while it may start rocky, turns out to be quite beautiful. Another thing I like is how the main character you play as, Shinichi, actually feels like a real character, and someone separate from you, the player. These characters are 3-dimensional with significant flaws that make you angry at them yet feel for them simultaneously. This game shows you that things are not always black and white, which is okay. The twist was insane, and I was honestly floored when it happened. I jokingly said earlier in the game, watch this happen, but when it happened, I wasn't expecting it. The twist changed the tone of the entire game into something very dark, and honestly, it was my favorite part of the game. And the best part is it doesn't slow down with the insanity. Once the twist happens, it keeps pushing and pushing and pushing until the conclusion, keeping you on the edge of your seat the entire time. Overall, this game is excellent, and most people who love DDLC will love it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Next is Slay the Princess. You are on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin, and in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it'll be the end of the world. Little did I know that these words would lead to an incredible game with one of the most best written stories I have ever seen. Slay the Princess hooked me within minutes, and it quickly became one of my favorite psychological horror visual novels I have ever played. This game is about a hero and a princess, and according to the narrator, it's the hero's job not to slay the dragon, but to slay the princess. This game has so many choices, all leading to proper endings. There are no bad endings. There are no game overs. Every little thing has a purpose and leads to one of the amazing endings. What I found so engaging is that the game doesn't explain everything right away. You have to play the game and explore different choices to get the complete picture, which adds so much replayability, and each playthrough will be different from the first. These characters are simple yet complex. We have the hero, the princess, and the narrator. What's intriguing is the multiple variation and voices of the princess and the hero. The hero has these various voices that change depending on how the playthrough is going, and your choices will physically change the princess into some incredible variants. The very first princess I ran into was a variant I unknowingly created, and it was so bizarre that I was flabbergasted at the whole situation. Each voice and variant is unique and different, and the game makes you want to find and see each one. Learning about these characters made the game so entertaining. From knowing who the narrator was, to understanding the truth about the princess, and the hero's mentality is also impactful to you as the player. I truly felt for each of these characters and wanted them to find a happy ending. Each of them, and that is a great thing. The twist comes in the game pretty quickly. Depending on your choices, it can happen almost instantly. And what makes this twist so good is that it opens you up to so many questions. You want to know what is happening, why it's happening, and where it's all leading to. I have played this game for many hours and I'm still loving every single aspect of it. This game is a solid 10 out of 10 for me, and I encourage you to check it out for yourself. When you do, or if you already have, go to the comments and let me know who your favorite princess is, who your favorite voice is, and how much you love this game. Cooking Companions. Honestly, I wasn't sure about this game. A few different people told me to play it, and they all told me it was terrific, but I never got the chance to jump on it for a while. Then I suddenly got my hands on the game and decided to play it, and oh boy, was I in for a treat. The game's story was fascinating. You are thrust into a cabin with 4 other characters and given very little information on why you are there. As the days pass, it starts to rain, the area floods, and you are trapped in the cabin, and your food sources are dwindling quickly. The characters are now forced to find food in any way possible, no matter the sacrifice. This story gets crazier and crazier as it goes along, and it has you asking questions after questions up until the very end of the game. Now, this game does have multiple endings depending on your actions and relationships to the characters. You can also play through numerous stories outside of the main game to help you learn more about the side characters and their backstories. Speaking of the characters, this game has quite a few of them. There's the nameless main character that you play as, and then there's Gregor, Karin, Maria, and Anatoly. They are the characters that you form relationships with during the game. However, there are also the Chompettes. These are a group of 5 food characters: lettuce, potato, raspberry, bread, and onion. These characters bring many questions, and learning their tragic backstory was one of the best parts of the game. I loved learning about each of these characters, and to learn about all of them, you needed to play the game multiple times because you had to choose who to spend time with, and some of them have limited time compared to the others. The twist of the game was a slow burn. It didn't happen instantly, but slowly, and it wasn't until closer to the end where the insanity truly happened. However, this slow burn worked well. It built up pressure and nerves and made you wonder what was going to happen next. And then when it all fell apart at the end, that made the build-up very satisfying. I highly suggest this game, and I plan to check out its sequel, Dread Wait, as soon as possible. Next up is Paper Lily. This game is pretty different from the 3 we've already mentioned. It's an RPG Maker style horror game and not a visual novel. But that doesn't change the fact that you will enjoy it if you enjoy DDLC. This game is shown to you in chapters. As of right now, there is a prologue in Chapter 1. The prologue follows the character Kat, and Chapter 1 follows Lacey. Both stories have main characters perform a ritual that leads them down an adventurous yet dangerous path. Everything you do matters, as this game has multiple dead ends where things don't always go well for the characters. As you play, you learn more about this vast and mysterious world, and you don't always find the answers to the questions you may have. This game does a great job of having you care for the characters and want to see them survive and find the answers they're looking for. It also makes you want to learn more about the strange world you find yourself in, and it keeps you coming back again and again. The prologue and Chapter 1 have vastly different characters. The prologue follows Kat at her school, and while there, you run into 3 of her classmates, and depending on your choices, you may become friends with them, or they may hate you. The game does a good job of making you feel for the characters without giving you a crazy amount of their backstory, and it makes you want to see her succeed and find the answer she is looking for. Chapter 1 is very similar. You get to learn and know a lot about Lacey and her backstory, but there are still many questions that the game gives you about her. As you play as her, you get closer and closer to her and genuinely want to see her win. You also meet Sai during Chapter 1. He is a very mysterious character with a kind heart who wants to help Lacey succeed in this strange world. I personally want to learn more about him because we know very little, and I'm excited for Chapter 2 and hope we do learn more about him. Some of the other side characters are pretty unique in design and personality, and the brother of Lacey also has very interesting aspects about him that I'd like to learn more about. Hopefully, we get to see that in Chapter 2. This game doesn't necessarily have a twist because it's pretty intense right at the beginning. However, some of the dead endings are very memorable and have wild shock value. I search for each of them to learn more lore and see what twisted aspects they reveal, because some of the dead endings lead to very specific lore that you will not see otherwise. Overall, I love this game. It has an excellent story and it isn't even finished yet. Everyone needs to follow and play it, as both the prologue and Chapter 1 are free and really fun to play. Me-side. Let's be honest. If you've been on YouTube for the past year, you have heard of this game. It was incredibly popular when it came out, and everyone was saying, "I can fix her." The story of the game is simple. You get a new phone game in which you care for a cute girl. The cute girl then pulls you into the game, and things get crazy. This game was a lot of fun to play and full of memorable characters. And as of the creation of this video, it's still looking to add more content. The character situation is pretty unique because we have the main character who you play as, and then there are many different meta variations. They are both good and bad metas, and you interact with them throughout the entire gameplay. This game makes you care about the metas. You want to save them, you want to give them a happy ending, and when bad stuff happens, it makes you feel awful. It crushes you when you see bad things happening to the metas. The game has two twists, kind of. One at the very beginning and one at the end. The twist at the beginning was expected, everything gets dark and horrifying, but the twist at the end was a lot more unexpected. It leaves the player wanting and hoping for more content and to see what happens with all the characters. Overall, it's an excellent game, and a lot of people love playing it. If you like DDLC, you will like Me-Side. And you can even mod the Dokis in it and have them in place of some of the metas. So come on, there's no excuse for you not to play this game. Before we end, I do want to give you 2 additional games to keep your eyes on. Now these games aren't finished yet, but they have a lot of potential. Bonus number 1, Tsunagari Chess School. DDLC inspired this game, and I think it has potential to be fun and engaging. It is about a character joining a weekend chess school to learn more about the game of chess, and well, things get pretty wild. The dev has been adding more and more content to it, and he is even currently reworking the beginning story of the game to add even more aspects to it and make it more independent. It does rely heavily on DDLC aspects, which does need to change, but the dev seems determined to make it its own thing, and I find that very respectable. I think you should check this game out and give the dev encouragement and advice on what you would like the game to turn into. Bonus number 2, I hate my waifu streamer. Although this game has only a demo, it has tremendous potential. It's about you watching a new streamer and interacting with her streams. You can become her #1 fan, stalker, hater, and more. The game's goal is to show a horrifying nature of online bullying, and I think it'll be able to do just that. The demo of the game had me so interested in the character of the streamer, and I really want to see what will happen the more you talk to her, egg her on, hate on her, or just adore her. I am very excited to see this game, and I highly suggest you download the demo and check it out for yourself. So, there you go. There are 5 games and 2 bonus demos that you'll enjoy if you enjoy Doki Doki Literature Club. Tell me, have you played any of these games? And what games would you like to add to this list? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.